And we're going to play as an intro this sequence. Playing it twice like that would do us for an intro, and it's a pattern that's going to occur throughout this. So on the G chord that we start with, we're pinching 6 and 2, then the third string, first and second strings together, and third string again. So pinch, 3, 2 and 1, 3. The second half of that first bar, C over G, it says on your song sheet, we're going to do this. We're going to pinch 6 and 2 again with the right hand, but we're going to hammer the index finger onto the second string first fret. Now what John Denver does is he also hammers the middle finger onto the fourth string second fret for our C over G chord, but he's not going to play the fourth string. So it sort of rings sympathetically, but he doesn't actually play it. If you prefer to, just ignore that finger and just hammer the second string first fret, but he's doing both these two. So we hammer, pinching 6 and 2, hammer, third string, 2 and 1 together, and third string. Same pattern, you see. If you want a standard pick pattern for this song, it's going to be this. Take a C chord and play this pattern. 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2. That'll be your standard pick pattern that will really work fine for the whole song. The only thing that will change will be that first thumb note, which will change depending on the chord. So as you know, I'm sure, if you've Travis picked before, for a G chord it would be the 6th string third fret. You would go 6, 3, 4, 2, 6, 3, 4, 2. One which goes like this. So a normal C chord, and we're going 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 1, 4, 3. Okay, but that's that first bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we've got a G chord, and we're going to go 6, 2, 4, 1, 6, 2, 4, 3. Let's take it bar by bar. Have your tab in front of you, that's going to be the easiest to follow this song. And we'll start with the intro, and the first bar of the intro, which sounds like this. Now the right hand pattern for this and for almost the whole of the song is very simple. The right hand pattern is simply going root note of the chord, which here is the fourth string, and then 3, 2 and 1 together. I use these two fingers for that. If you prefer to use these two, ring in the middle, go ahead and do it. And then back to 3 again. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, with 2, 1 being lady, are you crying? Do the... Now we go to the D shape that we played before, but we just play one time around the right hand pattern. Tears be. Because now what happens is he puts in another voicing of D major 7. Have the ring finger come away and be replaced by the middle finger on the third string's 6th fret. The other two fingers stay where they are. That's D major 7 as well. Same right hand pattern. Long to... Alright, not too difficult to song this. There are only 3 chords in the whole song. There's a normal G chord. There's the chord C over G, which is our normal G chord like this, plus this middle finger that's normally on the 5th string goes to the 4th string 2nd fret, and the index finger to the 2nd string 1st fret. That's C over G. And then we'll have a D chord, which is embellished with D sus4, little finger on the 1st string 3rd fret, and very occasionally D sus2, which is a D chord with the middle finger lifted off to open the 1st string. It's a Travis picked song, and a typical John Denver, very simple Travis picked pattern. Grab a normal G chord and let's have a look at what that pattern is. The middle finger on the 5th string is optional. I put it there out of habit, but you're not going to play the 5th string. The thumb's going to go 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4 for both G and C over G. And the fingers around that are going to go like this. We're going to go 6, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. That's your Travis picking pattern every time you play G or C over G. Let's put it back to back with C over G. So we're going to go 6, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. That's your Travis pick pattern. It's a typical John Denver pattern, and he keeps that going throughout the whole song wherever you play G or C over G. Jump into the introduction, which sounds like this. So this is this unusual finger pattern that's not Travis picked. It'll break into Travis picking for the verse. Now, before I get into what the left hand is doing, let's talk about the right hand. The right hand is playing in a pattern of arpeggios that essentially is going 6th string. By the way, it's a G chord, so it's the 6th string 3rd fret, just with your ring finger, that's all you need. 6th string, and then 2, 3, 4, and I use ring finger, middle finger, index finger. Now you want to just get used to rolling that arpeggio up and down, well, down. Just practice that feeling in the right hand. If you prefer, if you're not a big fan of your ring finger, you could play that thumb, middle, index, thumb, and then the thumb jumping back to 6. You could play it that way if you prefer. But I like to use all three. So get familiar with that arpeggio. When you are familiar with that, this is what to add in the left hand. And I'm going to show you a couple of alternative fingerings here. This is what I'm doing. Ring finger plays the 6th string 3rd fret. And as we start that arpeggio, thumb, ring finger, middle finger, and around about now I'm dropping the little finger onto the 4th string 4th fret. So that when I reach that note with my index finger, it's fretted at the 4th fret. Then for the next rolling arpeggio, I will have I'll leave this one down until the last moment. Now I will be changing it to the 4th string 2nd fret, just before I play that note. And I'm using my middle finger here, although John Denver uses his index finger here. He plays the other two the way I just did, but uses his index finger for that one. With that, let's get into the song. We're in the key of A, but we're going to start in the introduction with these two chord shapes. A played like this: 2nd string 5th fret, 3rd string 6th fret, 4th string 7th fret. That is an A chord. And that's the A chord that he's playing at the start of this track. And then you can see on your song sheet that the next chord is D6-9. That looks very complicated, but it really isn't. Only the ring finger remains, and underneath it the little finger goes to the 7th fret of the 3rd string, and these two fingers come away. Technically it's D6-9 over A, because that A bass note remains. So it's essentially an A chord going to a D chord, but he likes the voicings of these two chords, and I can see why. They sound very nice. I guess you like the sound of those too. Now, he does vary that. Now your tab shows one or two examples of variations, but forget the tab. Follow the song sheet here. You want to play those two chord shapes that we just showed you for the introduction. And what he'll do is occasionally vary them like this. The A chord he'll occasionally vary by having the index finger come away. That's variation number 1. And variation number 2 has the index finger coming to the 1st string 5th fret. So you want to hold this as your basic chord, but occasionally throw in little twiddles with that finger. You know, that's what he's doing. There's an example of one way you can do it. Intro we would play. And repeat that maybe 4 times. You fill up my... Now this is actually another way of playing D. We have the 1st string at the 5th fret, and the 3rd and 2nd strings at the 7th fret. That is a D chord. Many of you will know that already. And if we have, out of that shape, the little finger then come out 1 fret further to the 8th fret, we have the chord of D sus4, and the introduction to Annie's song alternates between D and D sus4. Normally you'd see that played D here and D sus4 with the little finger down on the first string 3rd fret, right? And later on in the song that's what we'll do, but for the introduction, this gets across exactly how that introduction sounds. So we're going to pick this pattern for the introduction. 4, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3. The song is in 3 beats to the bar, so we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then have the little finger come out 1 fret further to the 8th fret, while the other 2 stay where they are, and play the same pattern. 4, 3, 1, 2,